Everybody, my name's Eric. Welcome to the Joecast. This is my weekly WWE recap show here, and over the last couple weeks, there's been quite a bit of information coming out of WWE and all the action. So let's get caught up with what's going on here. On last week, one of the biggest things that really happened for the most part, John Cena returned finally. So they set up a title match between him and AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble. So I'm sure that'll be another good match. They fought each other a lot already, so I'm sure some people are getting tired of it, and in a way, I understand that. But the match will be fun, and I kind of expect John Cena to go over in this one actually and win the title at the Royal Rumble, and probably take that title into WrestleMania. Also, last week we got a bit of a surprise here. We had American Alpha win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships and got them away from the Wyatts and Randy Orton. Obviously, well deserved. I think the American Alpha is probably the best tag team on SmackDown right now. They just have the best chemistry. They're the best workers in the ring together. So I really enjoy watching them, and to put the titles on them is actually absolutely the right move right now. And on the Raw last week, obviously, it was from Chicago, Illinois, and the only real big thing I thought was really good on the show was kind of a throwaway show, really, being it was over the Christmas holiday and everything. A lot of times WWE over the Christmas holidays like that, they just kind of phone it in and just kind of wait till January rolls around to really kick it into gear before the Rumble. But I did think that there was a really good comment from Stephanie McMahon, being they were in Chicago, the crowd was chanting for CM Punk, and she you can tell she was sitting on this comment for months, probably waiting to go to Chicago, and said how if y'all can keep chanting CM Punk for more than 2 minutes and 16 seconds or whatever it was, and you would outlast Punk, because obviously Punk got destroyed in his UFC debut, and so it was just a nice little rib there, and I did think it was kind of funny, but I do miss Punk. I kind of wish he'd come back, but it's probably never going to happen. But I thought it was a funny line. In regards to this week, though, Monday Night Raw was actually a pretty good show. All the shows were pretty good this week, actually, for the most part. Monday Night Raw was really highlighted by Braun Strowman and Sami Zayn in a last man standing match, which lasted quite a while, and it was very well done. There's a lot of innovative things that they did that they haven't really done in a while. A lot of backstage brawl type scenarios here, and even stuff on like a dive off the stage through tables, and being thrown down the ramp, and have all these like backstage like boxes thrown at each other, and it was very brutal at times, and Sami Zayn is a good worker, and he did a good job here putting over Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman looked better in this match than he has in any other match he's had in his entire career so far. I wasn't really sold on Strowman at first. He's starting to win me over to some degree. Sometimes these big guys can't wrestle very well, and Strowman's still not the greatest, but for the most part, he's entertaining to watch, and he really looks like an imposing threat to all of his opponents. Obviously, the big story from Monday Night Raw was Bill Goldberg coming back to the show in the final segment. Him and Roman Reigns kind of got face to face, and that brought out Braun Strowman as well. And then Roman Reigns and Bill Goldberg both speared Braun Strowman, laid him out, and they were all making statements that at the Royal Rumble they're going to win the match, and assert dominance, so to speak. And I thought it was really cool to see Roman Reigns and Goldberg go face to face. I don't know if they're ever going to set up a match between the two of them, but it was still kind of cool to see. I could definitely see them going at each other at the Rumble, and that could be a very interesting confrontation. And during that segment, actually, it was the debut of the Kevin Owens show, which I'm sure we'll get a lot more of this because Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho are just absolutely entertaining on the mic. They're also great in the ring, but this is the first time we actually saw Kevin Owens get his own crack at his own talk show, so to speak. And I thought it was absolutely hilarious. They had that guy in the middle of the ring with the Kevin Owens sign over his face, and Owens just walks right in there and just adjusts him to make sure he's standing properly and straight. And then he was standing right next to what looked like a folding lawn chair. It was just absolutely ridiculous, and it was kind of one of those funny little elements that WWE can pull out sometimes. It's good comedy. It's not absolutely stupid and ridiculous, which they also do plenty of. But in this case, I thought it was kind of comical. During the show, we also had a number one contendership match between Nia Jax and Bayley to see who will face Charlotte Flair at the Royal Rumble for the Raw Women's Championship. And during this match, Sasha Banks got involved. Well, she came out to the ring. She didn't really get involved in the match, which distracted Nia Jax just enough for Bayley to hit the Bayley to belly off the second turnbuckle onto the mat to pick up the victory. And I don't recall if this is the first time Nia Jax has been defeated by pinfall or not, but if it wasn't, I forgot. So it kind of meant a lot to see Bayley go over on her like this. So we're going to get Bayley versus Charlotte at the Royal Rumble. I don't think Bayley's going to get the title just yet. I would like to see her maybe fight for it a little more, maybe win it at WrestleMania, and a big moment for her. But it should be a good match, and I can maybe even see it going to a screw job finish to some degree, to where Bayley gets screwed out of the title or something to that effect. I could also see coming down the road here, Sasha Banks is going to get a shot at Nia Jax, and they're going to continue that feud as well. Also in this show, Roman Reigns defeated Chris Jericho to retain his United States Championship after uh, he stopped the referee from calling for a DQ in this match, which is obviously a finish they kind of liked because they did the same thing on SmackDown actually when Dean Ambrose talked the referee out of disqualifying Maurice at the end of that show as well. So it's kind of one of those deals where they didn't have a whole lot of originality there. They just kind of used the same finish on both shows. So I don't really like it when they do that sometimes. But both shows were really entertaining. Dean Ambrose versus The Miz on SmackDown was actually a good match as well, and told a good story. And it was kind of cool to see Dean win the title. So I don't know if they're going to continue this feud at the Rumble where Miz will get his rematch or not. But either way, it was kind of entertaining for one night anyway. Also on SmackDown, AJ Styles and John Cena had their contract signing for the WWE Championship match at the Royal Rumble, which I thought was very entertaining. Both guys are really good on the mic. They can get in each other's faces. They threw some good digs at each other. Some curse words even flew here on a PG show, which I'm liking. I'm liking how WWE's finally starting to come back to being a little more edgy than like they used to be during the Attitude Era and things like that when they were in their complete boom period and everybody watched. They've kind of gone the kid route lately, which I totally understand too. You know, you want to attract the kids to watch the show, but at the same time, some of the older viewers they just completely tune out to that silly, goofy stuff. But this segment was really well done. Then of course Corbin come down there and got involved too, kind of laying claim to, hey, I want to be in this title picture as well, even though he got beat last week by AJ Styles in the triple threat match with Dolph Ziggler. And I want to get to Dolph here in just a second. But I think I don't know how Corbin's going to fall in here because he's going to be in the Rumble match as he said too. So it could be very interesting to see where they go. I'm like I said, I expect Cena to win the title here, and he probably will face either the winner of the Rumble, or I can even see him facing Undertaker. And speaking of Undertaker, him and Shawn Michaels, HBK, will be on Raw next week, so check that out. They'll be live from New Orleans, Louisiana, which, if what I've heard is correct, they are going to announce that New Orleans is going to host WrestleMania 34 next year, so you can look forward to that announcement coming up on Monday. And to me, the biggest thing of the week that I really took away from these shows was that Dolph Ziggler finally, after years of getting destroyed and beat and booked badly, and coming so close to winning the big one. Yes, he'd win Intercontinental titles here and there and things like that, but he never could just, cross that threshold of becoming the world champion. So after all that time, after getting beat down and all that stuff, he finally snapped, finally turned heel, and finally just decided to kick the crap out of Kalisto, laid him out with a super kick, and afterwards he even got involved with Apollo Crews backstage and got into a little bit of a scuffle. So I hope that this is finally, because I don't care about Dolph. Like I've said it before, I don't care because they keep beating him. You do that, no, you're not going to care about a guy. So now that he's got hopefully this new attitude and he's going to change his, the way his characters run, and hopefully he'll get over as a heel and finally start getting somewhere with his career. On NXT this week, not a whole lot really, to write home about. It was their Melbourne, Australia show, and it really wasn't anything noteworthy on the show. I mean, Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Samoa Joe in a steel cage match to retain his NXT championship, and obviously they're going to do the Bobby Roode versus Shinsuke Nakamura at TakeOver before the Rumble on January 28th, I believe. So they're going to do that, but other than that, the show was just it was a on the road show that they did for the fans there, and I don't think anything major happened on that show. If it did, I will report it next week, and I'll keep you guys caught up to date on that. But next week, the NXT should be back at Full Sail University and doing their normal shows. Well, that'll just about do it for me, everybody. Thank you for watching this video, and if you like what you saw here, please comment and like this video. And you can also subscribe to the Jailcast on YouTube by searching for Jailcast there. You can also find links in the description of this video for my Facebook and Twitter, or you can go to facebook.com/Jailcast, or you can find me on Twitter @EricJail. So until next time, thank you for watching. God bless.